I'm Eric Butts.
And I'm Jim Butts.
SuicideFantasyFootball.com, live from the War Room, giving you the new edition to Suicide Fantasy Football this year. Last year it was just offensive positions. Quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, tight end, and kicker. Even though kickers don't matter, we put them in there anyway. What we added this year was special teams and defense. We had a ton of people who say we'd love to be able to watch both sides of the ball. So here it is, Jim. Give us your top 5 defenses in fantasy football this year.
First off, I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Of course, they always wreak havoc. They're scoring touchdowns. Who knows? Even if they don't score any special teams touchdowns all throughout the year, with the interceptions and the fumble recoveries, they're going to be my number one.
Now, let me ask you. They get rid of James Harrison for his annex and Lamar Woodley gets signed somewhere else? Are they still your number 1 team?
No, but they're top 5.
Yeah, agreed.
Number 2, I'm going Jets. I just love Ryan's team. I think they got a bunch of playmakers on the team. They're taking it to the house. They have the mentality that when they make a turnover, when they recover a fumble, when they pick off a pass, they're going to lateral. They're going to do whatever they can to take it to the house. Okay. That's where I'm going. Number 3, I'm going with the Packers. They got a bunch of big playmakers. You got Matthews with a bunch of sacks and fumble recoveries. I think that's probably where they're going. They could be anywhere in the top 5. 1 to 5, I wouldn't be surprised. Number 4, I'm going with the Eagles. They don't have as many defensive playmakers, but they get a lot of sacks. And with Deshaun Jackson returning punts, he might be good for 3 touchdowns right there. They got a bunch of things that could happen. They could be the 20th best team when it all comes down with it. If Deshaun doesn't return a bunch of touchdowns, it's a reach. Number 5, I'm going with the Ravens. Just because they're the Ravens, who really cares? They got Ray Lewis. They got a ton. They're always great on defense.
Only thing I'll say is you're an Eagles fan, because there's no way they're going to be in the top 5 scoring defense and special teams. Jackson would have to put up 5. You know, between Jackson and Macklin, they'd have to run back 5 touchdowns this year to really have a shot.
Well, that's what you're thinking right now, but I'm already going with saying that Asante Samuel gets a bunch of picks. I think they're signing Albert Haynesworth, and I think they're going to sign a cornerback that's going to complement Asante Samuel. So that's my basis of it. I'm not talking about as they're set right now. I'm thinking that's going to be the changes. They are my team, so I know a little bit more, or I think I know a little bit more about what they're going to do in free agency. So that's what I'm basing that number 4.
All right, so I'll give you my top 5. Pretty similar. I got the Steelers number 1, although I agree with Jim and his answer. If they lose Woodley and if they lose Harrison, I'm probably dropping them down somewhere, maybe 2 or 3. I don't know, Jim. The Steelers don't put up with stuff. Any other organization, I'd say they ain't losing Harrison.
It's not changing. He
separated the offense and the defense in the locker room. That's a problem.
No, it isn't. Oh, you know when it's a problem?
When?
It's a problem if Ben Roethlisberger and Rashard Mendenhall say, I really don't want to talk about this. I have no comment for that, because that means they're pissed off. Both of them said, whatever. James Harrison brings it on the field. He does what he has to do. I'm friendly with him. We talked. I know what he meant. I have no problem.
We'll see when they're in the locker room together. Second, I got the Jets. Just like Jim said, you know, I love Rex Ryan. I love how much of a defensive mind he is. I love the way he schemes people. I think they're going to put up big points as usual. Then I've got the Ravens, just because they're the Ravens. And I think, don't be surprised if they make some big moves in the offseason to bolster their defensive lineup. Fourth, I've got the Green Bay Packers. Fifth, I've just got whoever signs Asamoah. I think he's such a game changer that almost any team except the Texans. If the Texans get him, they're gonna be much better at defense, but probably not in the top 5. Eagles get him, definitely with you.
So you get points for somebody not throwing to you?
What do you mean?
Well, they don't throw it, Asamoah.
No, I'm saying he's going to get 5 picks. If the Eagles sign him, they're going to have to throw at Asamoah, because they're not just going to be able to pick on Asante Samuel.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah.
So a decent team gets Asamoah. I'm making them my 5th
there
defense. Tell us what you think. Send an email, jim@suicidefantasysports.com. Follow us on Twitter at SFFcom, Facebook /Suicide Fantasy Football, and check out the Suicide Fantasy Girls. Like the page, spread it to your friends. Oh, by the way, a new way to spread it to your friends, Jim. When you sign up for SuicideFantasyFootball.com this year,
virtual optimization loop.
Don't make it complicated.
Which means
you're going to be able to invite your friends from Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, all at one time. Challenge them. I'm in this league. Come play against me. Prove you know your stuff. Check us out, SuicideFantasyFootball.com, and follow our blogs and look for more upcoming news on our NFL and college games.